G'day guys, Macca with the Outer Circle, here with Kat.
Oh, hey guys, sorry, playing some Blood Bowl here. I just got my ogre knocked the fuck out. It's not my ogre either. I'm 200 grand in a hole, and I bought that guy, and he's getting his ass handed to him. Anyway, yes, hello everybody, Cat here, best friend in the world.
That's probably the worst financial decision since Broadcast
I know.
Broadcast
I
Detroit
should've,
bought that RoboCop statue.
I should broadcast it. It was creating jobs. Yeah, there was other shit I could have done. I don't think I would have been able to pick up the ball. It's a human team with 4 catches, and that's not the meta. I think apparently the way that is you should run is 2 catches minimum with 2 throwers, 4 blitzers because of the best like humans have to offer is the blitzers, and the rest linemen. But yeah, I try to play anti-meta against the meta. My catches are only strength 2. So they can't really knock down. I'm always getting red dice and shit. It's carnage.
Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made.
4 injuries, and my ogre was knocked out for half of the last time. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that, but how badly I am at football management. Maybe I can just be in charge of like a shitty football team as my next job. Anyways, yeah,
I hear Essendon's looking for a new coach since the last one overdosed.
Yeah, I'd call them. I'd just make it a Slanesh team, and we'd just call them combat drugs, and I'd make it legal, easy, done. See, fuck, I'm a
Ooh.
genius.
Good. Yeah, no, yeah, I got a bunch of Blood Bowl stuff arrived in the mail today, as well. Well, I got my Mighty Zug and Rock and Crumbleberry, the Halfling Ogre team, so like twosome. They arrived as well. A mate over in the UK who's nice enough to actually hook me up with models from the events that you otherwise can't acquire except through Pirate Island, aka Hong Kong. Yeah, he's nice enough. I just sent him money. Here's what I want, and he goes down and picks it up for me. Real top bloke. And some tray liners for Blood Bowl that I got from a company called Just Lasered. And I put them in the actual Blood Bowl starter box, and it fits all the models and the cards and dice and all that kind of thing neatly into the foam tray rather than having to lug like a figure case around and all that shit separate. So that made me
Yeah, I
pretty
saw
happy.
the pictures of that. Saw the pictures of that. It seems kind of pointless. I mean, I don't know how casual Blood Bowl is played.
Well, for me,
That's why I
there's a hobby store in town where they play it, and all I got to do is take my teams in and set it up, and everything's good to go. And the best part of it is I can tell exactly what goes where, like where the dice sit in their holders. If I'm missing something or not, I can just tell by looking at it. You know what it's like to be missing dice?
Yeah. By the way, my dice aren't in the back of your car. They are. Did I just kill his? Oh my god! I just killed his fucking his spawn of chaos, and he didn't roll the regeneration for it. Regeneration rolled 2, needs a 4+. I am the fucking. Hey Eric, I'm gonna link you to this goddamn podcast thing, man. And you know what? Shove it right up your goddamn ass, you piece of fucking shit. Not really.
Generous in
Love-
victory as
love
always,
you.
Cat.
What do you mean victory? It's 1-0. He's raping me, man. He's fucking raping me. It's ridiculous.
Oh, so
But,
what you're telling me is he's playing a narrative team?
by the way, that raping thing reference, it's a Counter-Strike thing. But anyway, yeah, get wrecked, mate. Oh, dude, I wanted to make an impact, and I did on his team. I do like the Nurgle team in Blood Bowl, on the tabletop, for example, because
Yeah, I've been building an actual tabletop team for
for
Nurgle.
Nurgle.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, man. Yeah, I can't wait until they have normal chaos, because usually I rock a team called Slanesh Hone Stars, and I like to just give them ball handling skills to make them like really good, kind of like, because they're agile and stuff. Hone Stars is
I
pretty
bet
cool.
Slaneshi followers have real good ball handling skills.
Oh shit, son, what up? Yeah, so I don't know how you can play it casually.
Rub-a-dub-dub.
I like it on the computer. There is differences in the computer compared to the tabletop war game. But
I swear the
least-
computer is out to jack you. Like, you'll be playing a game, and just the rolls just seem to go the way of the other team.
Yeah, right.
And at least in real life, like, it can be funny. But when a computer is just like every throw, every dodge, every block is just coming up, everything's coming up Millhouse, and you're sitting there like trying to throw one square in front from a thrower to a catcher, and somehow it ends up 4 squares behind you, lands in their skink hands, and then the skink just walks across the line for an easy touchdown. And you're like, what the fuck? How the fuck did that go wrong? It's like watching a demolisher cannon fire, and then the shell scatters back like onto the rear armor of the demolisher. And you're like, how the fuck did that happen?
It's the rules of I agree. They do seem somewhat rigged. Eric's kind of out for blood now. I don't think he heard me over the internet, but he's pretty jacked that his spawn died. That's pretty funny.
How do you kill how do you actually kill a chaos spawn or
they don't get
beast of Nurgle by like charging it with a goblin? Or a snotling. I do have a snotling team actually. I have the actual physical models for a full snotling team. With like the 2 trolls, the works, all in white metal.
Yeah, nice. I can't wait until they bring out some other teams, because currently, for Chaos on the tabletop, they only have
Nurgle. No, not even Chaos Norse.
They don't have normal Chaos, or no, really no Norse either. Yeah, wow, because they had that book. But yeah, I can't wait for I'd probably get one of those mats. The is it Preony, the fucking mouse pad material?
Oh yeah, no, don't do that yet because they're the wrong size. Because remember, old Blood Bowl was on 25mm. New Blood Bowl's on 32mm. So the mats are a completely different size for like the templates and shit like that.
I don't think I've ever
not all mats, but I know Games Workshop ones change scale.
Yeah, I haven't. They never had those.
Because they were 1 inch. They were 1 inch squares. Now they're like 1.5 inch squares.
Yeah, but the mats wouldn't. They never changed it. Like they weren't a thing back when the smaller bases were.
No, but you got to remember that people have been keeping the hobby alive, like Fan Blood Bowl.
I guess, but I don't think it's been much of a thing for companies to make.
Comixios. Type in Comixios, or I'll link you after this podcast.
Halfway through.
Thingy.
Yeah, fair enough.
And they've got like literally 300 plus models sculpted since Blood Bowl became unsupported by GW. They got like every team. They got cheerleaders. They got coaches. They got even the commentators. The works. Like
right.
Fans gave a shit, man. But I digress. Act of Heresy. We just got back from Act of Heresy. How was it?
You were there, man. You probably know how it was. But for the audience, it was okay. No, I don't want to buy the shitty fucking lineman. God damn it, I just wasted half my fucking money. Anyways, yeah, it was really good. I liked it. I'm not really a big fan of competitive games, I guess. So once we got there, I got the plane. Macca drove up, and he picked me up from the airport. He drove up day prior to and camped halfway through, which is pretty fuck doing that. Then
I dug in, faced out, barbed wire that works. It was fantastic.
Sure. And then yeah, so then I met him at the airport. Canberra is tiny. And yeah, we drove to the airport. I had to drive we had to go to office work so I could print out my army list because, added a little bit of flavour and stuff like that. So then we got the hotel room, they let us check in, we got some food, all that shit. Met up with a couple of the other guys later that day. Went to, what is it, what con was on at that time as well?
Oh, CanCon, Stinky NerdCon.
Yeah, it was hot in there, like 43 degrees hot. It was ridiculous. I don't know why.
Just imagine like the most stereotypical gamer event you can think of, which is sweaty nerds, gender fluid nerds, Magic the Gathering players, you name it, all just condensed into one like big set of gymnasium halls. and when you walked in, you could physically see the barrier, like Nurgle's Rot itself, just hovering in front of you of funk in the air. Because this place was not air conditioned. It was
No
fucked.
air conditioning. But I feel sorry for the staff there. They had a heap of stands in there, and there was a lot of stuff. Guys from the combat company were there, so I met up with them. I know those guys from a long time ago, and had a nice chat to them. Had a chat to a lot of the other guys at their scenic miniatures. I think it was the guys that made that starship miniature scenery. Rather, they do the laser card.
Oh yeah,
Car,
CNC
yeah,
Workshop or whatever it was.
Yeah. There's a bunch of those now, and they were like compete and stuff. So that was cool seeing some of the work in progresses that they have to go for. Like every 10 ideas, they only get.
You know, Kat. I suggested MDF and acrylic scenery laser cut or CNC cut to Ty like 6 or 7 years ago, and he was like, "Nah, it'll never catch on." Yeah, here we are now.
Yes, well. So that was cool. Then when you went back, I went to the guy. We went back. No, sorry, I went back to the hotel. I went to the gym, and there was a sauna and a spa, which I only got to use that one time because it was the time of gaming. And glad I got to use it because it was pretty nice. Yeah. Then we got ready for some ye old con the next day. Not con.
No,
rather,
we went to. Wasn't Polish that night, was it?
Yeah, it was that night.
Was
Yeah.
that night?
It was.
It wasn't. Oh no, it wasn't day 2. Yeah, it was. It was that night.
Day
Shit.
one. Yeah, we went to the Polak restaurant, which was pretty cool. We had some cool eats and stuff. It was very dank. It was a lot more dank than I expected.
It was a restaurant that was built in the 70s and has definitely not been renovated once since then. In fact, they probably retro renovated it with 60s stuff.
Yeah, added to its hobo mystique.
But it was a nice place. The nice bar, good beer, nice staff, good atmosphere. So I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it was dank.
Yeah, it was cool. Some of the other guys, we went there and we just talked crap. And yeah, then we went to the event in the morning and the event out of D6 Gaming, I think. It was D6 Gaming, is that what they called it? D6.
3D6.
And that was like a standard, privately owned business gaming, tabletop wargaming shop and card game shop. It was really well laid out. Like a lot of tabletop wargaming shops, card games and stuff have some atrocious setups. They're not professional in their layup. They're dirty. Their staff are unprofessional. Just bad kind of vibe. This was a clean store. It was stuff very professional. I guess that's because a lot of them were part owners in it, but even the ones that weren't, they were very professional. And there was also a bar/restaurant attached to it. So it was like a walkway. So it was definitely, I think, for legal reasons, I think the two shops, but there's a walkway that you can go in and out. So they had it was
fantastic.
good. I've only seen it in the States and online and stuff like that. So actually seeing this, apparently they've got 3 of these things in freaking Canberra, and I've never seen one in Brisbane or Melbourne or Sydney. So yeah, I don't know. Gaming shops start selling your booze. I heard they are getting one in Ringwood though, actually, for that.
Why do they keep putting them over in fucking Ringwood?
It's in like
There's other parts of Melbourne. There's like that many gaming fucking things and tournaments held in Ringwood already. It's like the mecca of fucking wargaming.
Do you remember the place Juice, the nightclub Juice in Ringwood?
Yeah, that place
they've knocked
was
that
scummy.
down, or Bob Jane or something now, and that's.
Did they knock it down with the clientele inside? Because that would have been a solid thing to do.
But that's basically where this other joint is, and that place is coming up, I think, to be established. But it's pretty much it's a bit of a mess, especially compared to this other shop, which was just on point and everything. So the dining in part of it, it was all. I think it was mostly just wood everywhere, like a dark timber. with leather seats and stuff like that. So you could sit down, nice tables, really comfortable, and you could there was shelves, and you could get something to eat, something to drink, and get a table. And there was games that you could borrow and
Well, yeah, all the board
yeah.
games on the shelves, so you could like pick up a game like I don't know, Lord of the Rings, trivia. What do they call it? Trivial Pursuit, for example. You could get like that, or you could play old school Man of War, Magic the Gathering, loser.
Oh, I
Whatever
used to
fucking
play
floats your
Magic the
boat,
Gathering.
and we all played it at some point. Then we grew up. No, I shouldn't say grew up. Grew wiser. The fact that that game fucking updates every 20
Creates
seconds.
balance.
It's almost as bad as the Forge World Red books. Yeah, it creates balance by just nerfing everything else that came before and making it so the only viable thing's the
Oh,
new
of
set.
course, that's always the thing, except for the ones that are consistently banned out of the core set.
Yes, well,
So
yes.
on that, actually,
Yeah.
so we'll just fast forward. After our first day of gaming, we had a assassin rumble on those tables, and it was like we had a little a little zone kind of thing. It was like walls that we put on the table, and we put the saltwater crocodile that I brought, tiny little saltwater crocodile. It was like twice the size of a normal one, still 25 meter scale, and a bunch of us used assassins. I took a what did I take? I know Tim took a Calyx assassin, the one with the psychic.
Calexius.
Yeah, so he had that, which is
Calexius.
a bullshit assassin. I thought they were just like powerful against psychers. It's a 6 to hit them in combat. Because no, the 6 to hit them in combat now.
It makes your
one
weapon skill and your
shooting.
ballistic skill 1. It's bullshit anyway.
Yeah, no, they did change it. Yeah. Oh man, you sound like you're from June or something, man. Like you haven't had enough spice or
Yes.
something. I don't know. It's weird. Um. So yeah, I took the
Yes.
Stabby guy. So it's the Mr. Stabby. And the one that gets used to have D6 on the roll. Now we just get +3 on a charge. So we were like fighting through these little hallways, doing a couple of wounds to each other. Someone came along and helped me against Tim because Tim was ganking me, and then there was another psychic assassin fighting the crocodile. They were down. They got each other down to one wound left. So I just jumped in there, and my assassin jumped in there rather, and just halved the attacks on each one, and I got wounds on both of them, and it was triumphant for that temple. So go the crazy drug taking extra +D3 assassin. I cannot for the fucking life of Eversol. Pretty sure it's Eversol. No, not the Eversol. Anyway.
No, man, you're telling the story.
In a very vain and out of control way. I'm pretty sure that was on day 1 of gaming. It could have been on day 2. I'm not sure. And then I played some cards against humanity.
Well, we did have a bit to drink.
Played some cards against humanity. After that, with some of the guys there, it was really cool to just hang around with the dudes and stuff because they're all really nice people from what I saw. I didn't have any issues at all. Hopefully, no one had an issue with me because I can be quite a specific flavor for some people. So yeah. As for the day itself, we had 3 games. The first game, first day rather, we had 3 games, and then 3 games. I had.
I only got through 2 because I had that massive game with Tim.
That's right. You had an APOC game for your second game, where I've only had. I think I had 2 zones. I was supposed to have 2 zones and 1 1500. And yeah, because my opponent, I kind of did the whole Elf Legion thing and got him a little bit too inebriated the day before, and he was not feeling up to the task to come to the first game. So sorry if you're listening, my friend. But for the greater good. So yeah, and that was for my first game. So the first game I didn't do much, and I wanted to take pictures anyway because um, James had his camera there, and I didn't know if we'd get an opportunity other than that. So it was a good opportunity for me to take pictures with James' camera. Hopefully, I didn't do too bad a job. I did also, unfortunately, there were people there that didn't have fully painted armies. Now, when in an joining instruction it says fully painted only, uh, you know, I can appreciate that people are busy and stuff like that, but some of them weren't even that bad at painters because they'd have half painted tanks and stuff, and one of them, the Sons of Horus one, was really well blended. It was, you could tell the guy knew how to use an airbrush, but he obviously couldn't find time to get it done. So, look, I don't know. All I know is fully painted for closes. So I got the camera out, started being a little tiny of a dick to him, just the tiniest dick, just a tiny, not even a fucking, half an inch of an inch. And I kind of made him a little bit upset. But I told him I'm just joking. But yeah, it was.
Was that before or after you flipped the
He
table
wasn't
on
even
him?
playing in me. Why would I flip the table?
You don't have to play them to flip their table.
Eddie's shit was on that table. He would have smacked me upside the head. Anyway. That he would have done a lot more than smack me upside the head. His whole arm was on the fucking table. But yeah. So I got some pictures done. I went around twice at least. I'm pretty sure. So there should be some pictures there. Hopefully you guys get to see. I think in all,
I still haven't put up pictures from HeroCon, the end of last year's tournament that I went to. I haven't put up pictures from that still because I'm just so lazy.
See, and the guys that painted it didn't paint the army. As soon as you got back, the day you drove back, you drove fucking like 700 kilometers, and you started painting. No, you started making shit and then painting. You made, because he rolled all this crazy stuff on a table for the next Horus bullshit, and he's made a whole bunch of. My God, I don't understand how you had to fucking. Jesus, I don't know how you could have done it. Anyway, whatever, man. So talk about laziness that you go do crazy shit like that. All right, man, doesn't add up. So yeah, I had some pretty good. I had 2 games I think at the start. So two games the first day, and I can't remember my opponents because there's a lot of shit going on, but they were very fun games. One of the zone boards that would have been my second game. I did have 3 games the first day because I had 2 zones. Did I play Tim the first day or the second day? I think it was Tim.
Yeah, Tim, the first day with your Alpha versus bullshit.
Yeah, Tim's army. What the fuck?
We'll get into
my
that.
first game.
I give him a hard time. I was trying to break Tim all weekend, but just constantly calling his army bullshit. I was trying to get him to snap. Little did I know he was trying to actually counter snap me.
Yeah, I think I remember my game. For my first game, I was on the Zone Mortalis table that was effectively a spaceship. And what you could do is infiltrate. Was it? No, it wasn't. Sorry, that was the second game. It was a great game. My first game was against Tim. So my first game was I had my Alpha dudes. I had Sniper Joe. I had Vindicator Assassin, which is the Sniper Assassin. So double team freaking Sniper class there. So maxed out on that class. HQ unit, which was a Delegatus with Power Fist and Space Shank and Power Dagger, so he gets +1 to his Power Fist combat attacks because they're both specialist weapons. Had 2 squads of veterans with Melta, a squad of veterans again, but they had combi weapons with Melta, and I don't think I had anything else. That was it. And for my sake, there were secret missions as well in these things, and so I had to put these 2 random miniatures. I had Cortez, which I've converted to have a cat on his arm, and just an Inquisitional chick from, I think, war machine. And she's got like a little egg and stuff. It's like a little wall supposed to represent a rad grenade. So they just count as an extra model to the unit with no special abilities. But if they're killed for that special mission, it was that they were operatives and they infiltrate the enemy's army. I don't know how humans are gonna infiltrate a freaking Mechanican army. I guess they would have done the thing from Futurama where they could put on cardboard boxes and stuff and be like, beep boop beep, I am a robot, and what would just no, we think you're a human. Which one would you most enjoy? A puppy, a letter from your sweetheart, or an oil change? An oil change? Correct. We would have also accepted puppy. So I don't know how that worked against Tim's thing, but he had his army was I forget what the hell those they're the jump guys with lightning guns. Right, Thalax. And then he had jump guys with power fists and power axes and crazy shit. Okay.
Ursarax.
So whatever the fuck they are, they kill shit real fucking fast. And that worked really well from my narrative. Because yeah, I just needed him to kill my guys in close combat or in a sweep in advance. So he played right into it. He was being the MLG dude, and he played right into my memes, man. He wanted to 1v1, if you would, the Delegatus, because he's a ruseman, as he says, which is an awesome name. He's a ruseman, so he's just like, I wanna get this guy because the guy can hive and stuff. And yeah, it was really cool. He was playing to a narrative well, of course. I'm sure he's not just an OP wreck face guy. I mean, it's Tim, right, from my podcast. He's nice, right?
Do you want to talk about the narrative right now?
The narrative is only as good as you play it, man. It's as good as your imagination, okay? You can't just go ahead and blame. I love the narrative, man. I got into it, so I don't know what everyone's problem is.
I like playing narrative events. I love it. And it was a pretty decent narrative event. A few of the things that happened were a little bit crazy, but like in the Eye of Horus event, when the random thing would happen, there'd be sort of like a random thing that happens later in the game that sort of counters it, so you don't get all butthurt over it. Whereas this one, there was a lot of like one-sided randomness. It just blatantly helped one team out of nowhere, and you'd be like, oh, okay, guess that happened. Yeah, but in my first game, because I've taken my Legion army, as you've seen, Kat, is pretty well rounded for like. It's not hugely strong in any one area.
If you take infantry, I've learned this. If you take infantry in the 30th millennium, just basic infantry, not fucking Thalax, but infantry with a bolt gun and walking around like an idiot, they don't have a very long life expectancy. They are going to die in droves because everything in that game is designed to kill them, and they are not designed to kill anything.
Yeah, it's well, it depends, of course. If you're Marines, you're fucked. If you're anyone else, you seem to get kissed on the dick. So, but my first game, I've written out this like 2,500 point list the night before, and I'm like, oh yeah, 3 laser destroyer vindicators, a couple of attack squads in rhinos, some attack support with.
See, I thought that your vindicators.
So I got a nice even blend of stuff, right? And then, like, the first game I go into, the dude opposite me is like, oh, cool, man, awesome looking army. Well, here's my 4 Melkadors, my Felshun tank, and my Castromenorth in a Sicarian. And I'm like, well, fuck. Flamers, no use. Volkites, no use. Tactical Marines, oh, you better believe that's no use.
Grenade. Oh, never mind, that's no use.
Yeah, armor 12 on the rear on a Melkador. Dicks will be taken by you in the bulk. So, yeah, that was enlightening. I pulled off a win, but it's not like... I got very, very lucky. A lucky outflank with Castellax that were with Pravian, and a lucky charge by Terminators that just managed to, like, get into a Melkador squadron and wreck its shit. But like those same Terminators, like 10 Terminators and a character went in, 3 were walking the next turn just from the Felshun shooting them. Like, he was fucking my shit up. And the table is the only reason I was competitive at all, because the table was pretty... Had really big pieces of... You were next to it. It was like big fortress line of sight blocking terrain, like this polystyrene fortress. Looked really cool. And, yeah, I was just like... Because my army's built to fight sort of like the ideal Legion army, you know? A few tanks, lots of infantry, some walkers, that kind of thing. So the minute that... as well as like Solar Auxiliaire and things like that, that's why I got like lots of Volkites so I can fuck their day up. And the minute I went up against this Melkador army, it was just like... What the fuck do I do? You know, it was... The fuck do I... It was like that scene in Saving Private Ryan where they like got to kill a Tiger tank. So dudes are like putting fucking grenades in socks and shit. And then like sticking the socks to the tank tracks. It was like that. Except I could only do it one at a time because of the FAQ.
Sticky bombs. Yeah, it was pretty much carnage on your side of the table. You took paper against rock, man.
Paper beats rock.
Have you ever thrown a rock at paper? I see. Everyone thinks that paper...
You ever thrown a rock at a fucking phone book?
Yeah, but you can
Doesn't
consistently
go far.
beat it. Trust me, we've done this stuff before. I'm in a job where we do that a lot. So you wrap a rock around a piece of paper around a rock, and you throw that rock. Eventually, it'll get out. It just dints the sides of the paper. The paper gets fucked.
Oh well, this time out, paper came out victorious.
Right? Real fucked up. Yeah.
Oh, majorly fucked up. Like, it's all crinkled. You know, you couldn't write on that piece of paper anymore. It's a bit wet as well. Yeah, and then, like, game 2 was a doubles game. And we had to go up against Tim and Spence. And
2,500 points each?
Tim and Spence.
So, all four. So, you had two teams of two, so 2,500. So,
yeah.
So, 5,000 points aside.
So, this is where we...
Really?
This is where I kind of cheated. Because we'd written our lists, everyone wrote their lists in advance of the tournament, and because Thousand Suns don't have rules, I have to pay this like really shitty Centurion tax in my 2,500 point list, where it's like, oh, yeah, you can't take a Psyker as a compulsory HQ in your Thousand Suns army, so you have to take like just some pleb. And I was like, I went up to the TO and I was like, mate, can I just like not fucking take the pleb? Like, I won't even fill the 50 points in that he costs. I just don't want this dude in my army. And he's like, no, you have to. So I was like, well, fuck you, T.O. I took a Mastodon the next game. I just dumped, like, probably 2/3 of the shit out of my list. My 2,500 point list. Nah, Spence and Tim didn't care, because they're like, yeah, sure. And then I'm, like, all game trying to, like, get them to admit that their armies are cheesy as fuck. And I'm like,
let's run down.
Oh, it's so broken. Oh, it's so shit. How can you do that? Oh my god, the Mastodon's the worst thing. To be fair though, the Mastodon is the worst thing ever. Whoever wrote the rules for that, I'm like, okay, there are ways of making it really good, like putting 3 fucking Tech Marines inside it or something. But that is not the norm, and that's nothing you couldn't do with things like fucking Sicarian and I don't know, Spartans and other tanks. Like, sure, you can find ways of making them better, but it is not fucking worth 700 points for that piece of fucking shit. That Macedon, it doesn't have the crushing tank rules of the fucking Typhon, even though the Typhon's like a quarter of the fucking size, right? So if you Thunder Blitz this thing with a Typhon, the Typhon will win against the Macedon 9 times out of 10. The Void Shields on it, I don't know why anyone wants Void Shields. They're the worst thing in fucking 40k. Oh, you have 2 ablative armor 12 hull points. I'd rather the Flare Shield that makes all the weapons being shot at me drop a strength and makes all the ordnance weapons shot at me drop 2 strength. That's way the fuck better than a Void Shield. Because, like, Tim's Thalax were murdering
they just
me.
roll against it and they just like,
you know?
4+, it gets a fucking hull point. 3, 4.
Oh, crazy shit, man. And it's not immune to Lance. It's not immune to Melter. Oh, sorry, it's immune to Melter, but it's not immune to Armor Bane. And as we know, Melter bombs aren't Armor Bane. They're no, they're not Melters. They're Armor Bane, even though their Melter is in the name, which is fucking retarded. But anyway, so yeah, Macedons are just the fucking worst. For 700 points. They got less hull points than a fucking Fellblade. They're the size of a house. Like, this thing, I couldn't even hide it behind fucking they had like 50% of it line of sight, hiding it behind dead land raiders. Like, it was just crazy, because his tabletop had like dead tanks all over it, like a tank graveyard type thing. And yeah, so we castled up in the corner, and Tim and Spencer set up their armies, and Tim had all this Mechanicum bullshit that was balanced by Billy, the coked up intern. And Spencer's army was just fucking knights upon knights with Solar Auxilia Velataris. So it's like heaps of dudes with rerollable 4+ saves with Feel No Pain and power axes. And yeah, it was just a fucking, this game was a clusterfuck. Then you nuked the Mastodon from orbit with your
that was my second
game
that was
one
my second
orbital
game. I was playing Zone, and there were two
yeah.
guns on this board to represent the broadside cannons of a spaceship, and it was a really well done board, and the guns looked fantastic, and it was fantastic. So in that, I took a bunch of infantry, some veterans, Saboteur, Stabby McStabby assassin, and coked up assassin, Billy the intern assassin. We call him that from now on, I guess. Billy intern the assassin. So yeah, and then we jumped in there, and half of the units had to come in from reserve and stuff. Had a gentleman's agreement with my opponent. Said we'll just have a gun each, and so we did do that. Just to forge the narrative and see what would happen. So he got to shoot at something, and I got to shoot at something, and yeah, it was. I got the.
It was an amazing example of precision bullshit
I didn't blow
shooting.
it up. That was the thing.
Twin linked D strength lance with 2 shots came down from fucking space and landed directly on my Mastodon, and I was like, what? And they're like, oh, yes, this is one of the random events. Oh, wacky shenanigans. I'm like,
I had control of a freaking spaceship, and I got to shoot other people. That is cool. They had the same thing in the Eye of Horus once.
Mate, you just did one of your fucking Obama drone strikes on me.
This is a drone. It's more like a C-130 being all like, whoop, there's a...
Yeah, a C-130 like 70 kilometers
it's a freaking
high.
Mastodon. I could have shot your leader in the eye, but with this freaking T cannon. But I was just like, since I can see this Mastodon from space, because it's bigger than the freaking Mexico, I've just it seemed apt that I would shoot at it, because it'd be like, a target to shoot, and I didn't think it would have set that much of your game, as it's just a fucking transport. So
No, it didn't. I did not put all my faith in the Mastodon. I just put that thing on the table for the rule of cool, and kind of just to make a point to people that if they have a Mastodon, they should probably just put it on a piece of cardboard in their backyard and light it on fire. Because right now, they're just the worst.
It's pretty bad. So yeah, and I got it down to one whole point. How did he get it down to 0? It had 1 left. I'm guessing it's just his 3 flying beetles.
Well, no, it wasn't the dung beetles. It wasn't the snails that did it. Because the snails is the slang term for the Voltarax, the world's most retardedly underpriced unit in 30k. For those playing at home, that's the new Mechanicum flying monstrous creature that's basically... They took a graviton gun and said, let's make it a monstrous creature. Let's give it an extra wound. Let's give it extra toughness and strength and all that type thing. Well, not extra toughness, but they gave it a flare shield, which basically drops all the weapons shot at it by strength by 1. Then they gave it a grav gun that instead of firing 1 large crappy blast, shoots 3 haywire shots. They also gave it 2 Havoc missile launchers. It's also flying. And all this other piss. And they're like, oh, what kind of points should we be looking at for this? Oh, double. Yeah, 160. That'll be fine. That'll be balanced. This thing's got like twice the fucking firepower output of a Predator. Yeah, it's balanced. It makes no fucking sense on any planet. And people there are like, oh, community sort of thinks that maybe like 3 is pretty balanced. So like, you're only a douche if you take more than 3. And sure enough, nearly every single Mechanicum army there had 3 of this fucking piece of shit. So that was bad enough, but it was the Thalax themselves were bad because they had the photon thrusters. They're like 4-shot plasma guns or some shit. But they're not too bad until you put like a Magos in the unit that gives them like -2 to your cover saves, twin linked so they don't fucking overheat on you, and armor bane. And these fucking plasma guns just torched a fucking mastodon, man.
Brutal, man.
It's like you don't get cover. You don't get cover because it's -2 cover because Mechanicum bullshit.
Yeah,
they're like the
definitely.
Tau. They're
Well, they
the
have
Tau
jump
30k. They don't have to. They don't have to show you what they've got. Even they're just like, oh yeah, just hardwired shit. You know, like oh my Magos has the fucking holy hand grenade of Antioch. Oh okay. What does that do? Oh, all my units on the board gain fucking D weapons
I
return
remember
or
when
some
Black
shit.
Templars actually had the Holy Hand Grenade. That was so good. Correct.
Yes, that was cool.
Remember?
That was
But yeah,
third.
now we're in the day of fucking Mechanicum. 2+ to fucking cover save. 2+ to their -2 to your cover save. +2 to your. I was getting the game prior to yours. I was just getting smashed with Mechanicum bullshit. I was in awe of the stupid shit they have.
I love it because one of our Melbourne mates, he's like, you guys are way too harsh for Mechanicum. I'm like, you know, and I'm like, oh, just because everyone plays them as shooty as fuck because they're awesome shooty as fuck. And he's like, yeah, but you can run them in close combat. I'm like, yeah, but no one does. Oh, I do. Okay, one person does. It's not a literal no one has ever done it. It's the fact that nobody bothers running them in close combat because they can just sit the fuck back and just shoot you off the table comfortably because all their models in their army are toughness 5, 3 wounds. It's going to take you a long time to get through that. And that's if they give you the chance to do it, which they won't. And yeah, this is my problem with the event. I didn't drop a single game, right? It was all down to luck and playing the missions. Because I often had bulk tactical marines that I could just hang on by the sheer body count, right? But when they say it's a narrative event, you expect... I don't know, I expect a certain level of list. Like, Geigenhive had a really, really good level of the lists. Nothing was too insane and crazy. The lists are all around the sort of same power level. And you weren't really locked in on your list, so if you came up against something harder, you did have some wiggle room to modify it. You did not have this at this event, so like, at one end of the spectrum, you got people like me rocking up with just like bulk tacticals in rhinos, going, oh, it's a narrative event, you know, this will be fun. And then the other end, you got like Buku Malkadors and all the Mechanicum bullshit, and lots of knights, so many knights. And yeah, it's just fucked. There's no level playing field. I'm not asking for it to be comped or anything, but I don't know. People need to take a long, hard look at themselves. Just because I said this to Spence after playing his knights. I'm like, just because you can write fluff to justify something doesn't mean that it's narrative and fun to play against. You know, like you can write fucking fluff to justify an army of murderous fucking Cabbage Patch children. You know, doesn't mean that you should. You know, like, yeah, sure, you can run 3 knights and a bunch of Solar Auxilia with axes as a list, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's fucking fun to play against, because it certainly was not.
I didn't really have that many bad games. My third game was a double game on a ZM, so we had 1,000 points each, 2v2. And there was 4 generators. There was 2 generators in this thing. They were big generators. They were like freaking 5 hull points, AP. Armor 14. Had a flare shield thing, not a flare shield. Generator shield thingy. So yeah. So
Void, the bad one.
I had a 5+ info as well. Sorry. So I managed to get a lucky hit off, and the guy I was with, he was all for the freaking narrative. He's just like, fuck this, I'm going at these fucking generators. So I was on a Marauder team. There were 4 teams, I believe. There was Loyalists, Traders, Marauders, and Mercenaries. So I was on the Marauders, and my narrative was just to make as much fucking chaos as imaginable. Just make it hard for everyone, and make sure people are having fun at the end of the day. So I was just like, fuck this, yeah, let's blow it. And he was happy to blow up some goddamn freaking... It was another Alpha League player I was playing with. So, though he was happy to blow up the generators, we got the trader dude on side. The loyalist dude who was playing Pure Fist was like pretty standoffish. He wanted to kill some stuff before killing generators. I'm just like, cool, we'll kill stuff. He had um, four dreadies, and a bunch of crusaders. Just power armor crusader thingies, Imperial Fist thing. I don't know how you can run them as troops. Whatever. He might have had a 10-man as well or something. So, um, yeah. So there's nothing I can really do to the dreads anyway. So we're just like, yeah, fuck yeah. So we do that, and having fun blowing up generators and stuff. That's just the killing things, taking stuff off. He was pretty apprehensive at killing the generator, but he managed to kill one in the end. So good on him for doing that. For forging, pushing the narrative, because we just wanted to see what the fuck happened. Are you fucking curious to see what happens when you blow up a fucking generator? I was fucking curious as fuck. Turns out the planet starts to collapse. So my next game, which was day 2, I had my 2500 point 2v2. Sorry, no, it wasn't 2v2. Our one was 2v2v2. So there's 2 Marauder players, 2 loyalists, and 2 traders. And there was a landing pad in the middle. I just told TO, I was just like, no, screw this. If that other planet, I found out the other planet's blown up and crippling. And also there was from another event, another missions that happened the night before, a freaking crippled freaking cruiser was heading towards the disintegrating planet. So I'm just like, well, my guys aren't staying on that planet just to fight a bunch of people. Also, my friendly, he was a Mechanicum player, and he had tanks and shit. I was just like, he doesn't need help. He does not need me just shooting these poor loyalists. So I tried to. It was an Imperial Fist player again, that dude, and he had a troop carrier aircraft thingy, right? And he had 10 Terminators in there, and they vector locked it. So it was just going to fly off the fucking table with all these 10 Terminators in there, like the most, basically half of his army. So I was just like, that's no fun for him. So I tried to shoot it out of the sky while I was getting this landing pad with no effect, because my army just started shooting. So, twin linked laser cannons and stuff, and they ended up shooting it 16 times with things that could have effectively shoot it out of the sky. I just did nothing. I didn't even do a hope, just did nothing. I just wanted to crash so his guys could have a chance of getting out. But whatever, so I was just like, bleh. And then that only lasted a couple of turns because there's a lot of points on that table. So I ended up going to another table, and that was okay, but there was a lot of people, man, and that's why I don't like big games. There's just a lot of moving. 2v2 would have been okay, but that was a lot of people, man, and then it was all of our vehicles, and we were on that same table that you were on that had vehicle as terrain, so there was like over 60 vehicles on this fucking table. It's a fair amount, so it was really hard to gauge what the fuck was going on. So I forged my own little narrative there because I didn't want to interfere with other people. It's cool for people to shoot my shit. They didn't, because there was better threats and better targets on the table. We ended up winning anyway, even with my shit going off the table. The Mechanicum player still had the most units on the table, still had the most quarters of the table, and still had the most kills. I didn't do anything. I didn't shoot one fucking thing. So
Mechanicum,
dude,
balance. Why you have to be
like,
mad?
Jesus Christ, I'm so glad I didn't do anything. So, but then,
yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's funny though, because like I say, with that whole forging the narrative thing, part of why I love infantry is infantry can do a lot of funny stuff. Tanks generally don't when playing these sort of games. Like they participate, but they don't do funny shit. You don't like drag the corpse of your fucking Praetor, of like a tank crew around. You drag the corpse of your Praetor around and throw them in the fucking dreadnought, right? Like what Felix did at Geigenhive, where he fucking got a Contemptor to throw his fucked up Force Commander into a Leviathan dreadnought and pulled it off. And so he dreadnoughted his dead Praetor. But I'm pretty nice because it's a narrative event. Like, I didn't take invisibility. I refuse to take broken powers on my psychers, and I don't take too many psychers generally.
You can't just take
because yeah, but if I do get it, I just swap it for another power. People on the other end, funny enough, are totally cool with that
Okay.
because they don't
I,
want to
I
cop
went
the
the
bullshit
opposite way.
fucking
Okay.
powers. And you did, and that had unforeseen consequences. um, but yeah, I'm like all for the narrative, and I'm trying to do like fun, fluffy stuff, and I just want it to be a really enjoyable game. And then other people, I won't say they make it unenjoyable. There was no game I didn't enjoy. There was just games I enjoyed more or less. And sometimes someone just does something incredibly stupid or throws away their army, and I'm just like, why would you do that? You've just lowered the level of fun, but whatever. Hey, it was good overall though. So
Yep,
don't know
right.
where I'm
Well, for
going
my
with
last
this.
game, I was just like someone. I was still on that other planet. Sorry, the Sudine, which I knew that was blown up, and I got off of it. So they TO put me on a different planet, and it was like, there you go, you landed here. So the table setup was 2,500 points. Again, it was 2,500 points. It wasn't APOC or anything. It was just 2,500 point game, 8 foot by 4. Um, really good scenery. I play all the tables that I played on were really awesome scenery and really well done. Um, and this one had a crapload of statues in one half of it, then a big building in the middle, and then a couple of ruined buildings on the other side. It was an objective mission, a bean counter one, so the more you stay on the objective, the more points you acquire. And I was facing against Mechanica, and I really wasn't feeling that bad about the army selection though. So I thought I'd be underpowered, but it was a little bit, it was pretty balanced. But I guess that was really more the results than anything. I had 10 Fulmentari Terminators. I was using Ultramarines in this one. 10 Fulmentari Terminators because my Alpha Legion Sky himself as also Ultramarines rather. So yeah, 10 Fulmentari Terminators inside a Sicarian that's maxed out to 385 points, which really didn't help when he's got 2 flying beetles. I had Sam Neill, so James did give me guild enhanced up Sam Neill, so I thought, I've got my little narrative thingy. They acquired enough shit from fucking around with the traders and stuff to get some sweet runes of summoning. So I got my Sam Neill. So he was a librarian, 2 mastery levels, blah blah blah. Had my Praetor with a whole bunch of bullshit on him as well, decked out. And I also had a Tech Marine in there. I also had a whatever the hell gives the quad guns. I had 3 quad guns as well, and I had the dude that gives the Siege Master who gives the quad guns, freaking phosphates. Yeah. So and then I had 2 units,
rounds or whatever.
10-man troops in Rhinos. And that was the army. So it was pretty big. It was Death Star-ish. I didn't think it was going to be that effective, but because I didn't actually have the current freaking cards, unbeknownst to me, because I still had the other ones. I'm like, James, is this right, man? And he's just like, nah, dude, those cards are fucking holy shit. So
Yeah, you were way off on those psychic powers.
I was like, why didn't you watch the fucking video I made of Psychos? He said, because I'm a fucking idiot, alright? Let's just get this over. So it's like, alright. So he rolled for my powers, which I think is pretty, it's the flavor as well, because, what's his name? Dark? Yes.
You
well,
rolled for him, you just used my dice. That's...
doing it. Yes, I did roll for them, but I did roll invisibility, and that was pretty good against Mechanicum. But the dude I was playing,
I thought there was no way it was going to work in your favour on the table you were on.
So there was a spirit in there as well, floating around. Spirit could move 2d6 in a scatter dice in any direction, unless you had a Psyker. Then it would move 2d6 to the closest Psyker in range, and you would get +1 to your dice pool for psychic powers, but you would also perils automatically. So that was happening, but it effectively, it did. I got invisibility off every single round. And Sam Neill did survive until the end, because he was just perilously Yeah, and then he did cop a wound from it, but that was all that happened there. So yeah, but what happened was the Mechanicum player, amongst having two beetles, two flying beetles and the big plasma shooting fucking robot dude, and then what else? He had that knight, a Mechanicum knight thingy that shoots a vortex.
The
Yeah,
Atropos.
but he shot it right on
The
top
black
of the
hole gun.
it scattered and hit the freaking spirit host. So like, yeah, it's here. This is kind of like a thing. What's going to happen? And he just rolls like a dice, and 5 freaking portals just shoot at him. Like, what the hell is that? And he's like, oh, they're vortexes. Just scatter them around, and yeah, just they float around. 2d6 every time. It's like, okay. So that happened, and then so that was killing my stuff. When I was rolling, this was a really enjoyable game because Scott could have effectively played it a really hardcore game, but he basically let me win with the troops because he didn't really touch them at all, and he was just up for the vortexes going up everywhere. Anyways, he was a really nice guy to play against. If the vortexes hadn't done what they did, I don't know, it could have gone a different way, but he was a really nice guy anyway. And fair, and just like, yeah, cool man, and we had a lot of fun. So yeah, and then 2 vortexes hit each other. So like, the fuck? He's just like, yeah, just roll again and see how many vortexes. So I go roll ahead and another 6 vortexes. So there's like 13 vortexes at one stage going around. I'm sorry, 11 vortexes just flying around everywhere and just killing all of our shit. And yeah, it was fucking hilarious. And
So this is basically the second time you're responsible for single-handedly destroying a planet. I just got to point that out.
It wasn't me, mate.
Wait,
wasn't me.
you are the hidden
Sam
war master.
Neill.
You
If
are
you
the
wanna
fucking
see, yeah, okay.
the
I'll
one-man
just reference
exterminatist.
watch Event Horizon, and then we'll see what's up. But look, I say that planet. I was actually in the toilet when they called out what the hell happened, but I don't even know if the results out for those planets or if anything happened.
You fucked it. That planet is so fucked it's not funny. And I kind of fucked the rest of the campaign, so, together we fucked everything.
Who doesn't want to go to a planet with a bunch of fucking vortexes?
I should point that out. The campaign centered around a night house and, like, this planetary governor confederation seceding from the Imperium and trying to make their own, like, I don't know, not a sister empire, what would you call it? Just a breakaway splinter faction. And they had this night house, it's like the main balls of their army. And in my second last mission, I was playing Zone Mortalis. And my partner Adrian and I, he did it really. He acquired these tech scribes with his automata. He picked them up with the Iron Circle, who just sort of picked them up and dragged them by the skull around while they beat the shit out of an entire army, because that's what Iron Circle does in Zone Mortalis. They are so ridiculously broken. Yeah, it drags these scribes around, and the TO, Andrew's like, oh, well, if you want, you can, if you got to do with this Cortex controller, you can download the scribe's data. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll do that with my Praevian. He's like, okay, but he's locked out of the next game. And I'm like, great, he's not in the next list. So that was a win-win. Played my last game, and it was against the Melkador guy again, but this time allied with your Imperial Fist mate. That was pretty funny, because the Melkadors were brutal as fuck with flare shields, because you just couldn't hurt them. But the Imperial Fist guy, like, comes in a Storm Eagle, and then just dumps all these fucking Templar Brethren dudes with, like, power swords and Artificer armor. And he's like, who should I make a run at? This defenseless Sicarian that's fucking up the side armor of our tanks? Or should I charge the psychically buffed Terminator squad?
But wouldn't you? Like,
I think I'll charge the psychically buffed Terminator squad. So,
wouldn't they?
Well, if I was in his boots, I'd have multi-charged throw a melter bomb into the fucking Sicarian to stop it shooting up the side
Probably
armor of
didn't
their
have
tanks,
melter
because the
bombs.
tanks
Just
were
putting
where the
it out
victory
there,
points were
those
this
cunts
match.
probably don't have
Not
I
the
don't think they
infantry.
can fucking take one.
No, he did. He did.
Not Templar.
He had melter bombs. No, he had this kitted out fucking Praetor in the unit. Just absolutely... his poor cunt. He runs his Praetor in, and then just barely manages to kill one of my characters, like the token Centurion dude. Just kills him, even though this dude's got like weapon skill 6 or 7, rerolls to hit, strength 7, Paragon Blade, all this bullshit. Just massive point sink for a 1500 point game, right? This guy would have cost like 300 points alone. And it just barely kills my piece of shit Centurion. And then I strike back with my Terminators, because his power swords obviously didn't have much fucking effect on Terminators. And I just pulverise the squad. And he's like, that's a cool, leadership 10. Rolls double 6s for the leadership. Rolls a 5 for his initiative, I roll a 6. Just fucking run his ass down. And like, I'll pick up all these dudes with my fucking psychers, like, sweet, gonna cast some sweet rituals at these guys later. And, yeah, it was a funny game, because that was one of many, many silly shenanigans. The other one that was funny was, the invulnerable Vindicator, I'll call it. Whereas this Vindicator of Adrian's, and it would keep popping out from behind this building, and it would get into this firefight with the Malcadors, who would keep shooting it and fucking it up. And he had 2 battlesmiths on the other side of the wall. So they just keep repairing this fucking Vindicator, and it just kept growing back its guns and hull points every turn. So it's just like tanking these 2 fucking Malcadors like you wouldn't believe. It was fantastic. But yeah, so at the end of that game, I found out like all the data from the scribes was like that the knights had actually been attacked by the people they were fighting on behalf of, and they'd been tricked into fighting on their behalf to get into the war. And he's like, oh, you're going to tell everyone? And everyone at the tournament just sort of looked at me. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to tell everyone. He's like, oh, this would sway the whole campaign. I'm like, well, you give me that kind of power. Well, what was I going to say? No, I'm going to sit on this. Of course not. I'm like, yeah, tell him. So now, like, in the campaign, that whole fucking Splinter Empire has just completely fucking shattered. Now it's like all those knights that declared for like this household have now declared for the War Master, and just shit's got like 10 times worse. Meanwhile, my fucking relic hoarding Thousand Sons have like left the system with like fucking Imperial Fist and relic booty galore and one fucked Macedon. So
I don't really know what the end point
times.
was for my guys. I'm guessing it was
your planet's fucked and breaking apart, and it's about to...
I think it was a different cell, if you will, compared to the ones at Geigenhive. But, yeah, they definitely got Sam Neill back, and I think that was basically their thing. Why they kicked his ass in warp in the fucking first place, who the fuck knows? But,
Your planet was breaking apart,
and it
had a fucked up, like, powerless battleship.
That was the first one.
Dropping into its atmosphere. It's about to get full fucking dinosaur extinction level event fucking asteroid hit. Like they're in a bad spot, that planet, and on the other side of the system is a loyalist ship in the exact same fucking position, and it's like the only people who came out of this in any sort of decent shape.
Which one was
like
Rain's World? So I put
my team, the mercenaries.
Put all the freaking vortex warps all over this Rain's World. I don't know, where's that? Is that where the knights live? Rain? Okay, well, good luck trying to fucking build knights there now, motherfucker.
Yes.
Warps are...
Well, I got... it's funny you say that, because we have to come up with the colour scheme for the knights. Myself, Dom, and... Fuck, who was the other winner of prizes? Well, anyway, there was a few of us that won prizes from the event for, like, best players for our team and best painted, all that kind of piss. And then there was, like, this really random, like, judge, best hobbyist. But just the way they said it, it was pretty much just a TO's Choice Award. But the way they said it was just fucking funny, and a few of us just sort of looked at each other like, huh? Is that retarded? Or... Because they're like, this is the award for best hobbyist. It has nothing to do with your actual painting skills, how good you are at hobby. if you did anything
Yeah,
good
it
at
was
all.
really weird. That was a weird
But we just
thing.
liked your stuff. It's something like that. It was more retarded than that, though, the way it came out, because this poor T.O. on the cuff having to talk in front of all these people. I felt sorry for him in that moment, because it was like, just say T.O.'s Choice. T.O.'s Choice Award. Coolest dude, whatever, you know. Don't try and the more you explain it, the worse you're making it. It was like pouring petrol on a fire, or when Jasper on The Simpsons, that old dude, has his like beard caught in the pencil sharpener. What if I? And every time he winds it, it just gets worse.
I might have.
Yeah, no, it was a great event.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably one of the best venues I've ever been to, because it wasn't like
but there
the,
was
the
less
dank
room
rape
to
dungeon
move
of
around.
Gargenhive.
Granted, it was shop, but there was still a fair amount compared to, say, tournaments. But this event, there was a lot more room to move around. At least you could sit down and stuff like that. So.
And the bar wasn't close enough to where we were staying, so I didn't get tanked the whole weekend. Didn't even get pissed. That's drunk for those of you who don't speak Australian.
I don't know. I didn't get any awards for that thing. Not that I was really expecting to. But the one thing is I did have was a fuckload of fun, and that was really cool. And a lot of people came up to me and they were like, "Oh, how'd your games go?" And I was like, "Yeah, they were all really fun. I didn't have a bad game. It was so good." And they're like, "What were your results?" I'm just like, "That what? Like that was my result." And they're like,
yes,
like
there was
like,
results.
Oh, you know,
yes,
I blew up a planet, and then my guys got off this other thing. Got off the planet. Dogging my opponent, my other marauder mate, mechanic mate, to get off this to get to a different planet. I was like, I spawned fucking like 13, what was 13 freaking warps and stuff through this other fighting this merc guy on this planet, and like it was just really cool. And they were like, "Oh, but what were your results?" Like wins, draws, dresses. Like I don't even fucking remember, man. It was I didn't take notice to that at all. It was
it's
just
pretty
really
funny though.
Fucking fun. Some of those games are just like, it sucks that they're ending now. I want to see the end results of this, but you know, time constraints and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, well, it was because I got that best Reaper trophy, right, for like the best combination of like battle, army list, composition, painting, all that for your team, for your faction. And we're talking with Adrian about it. He's like, "Oh, you know, I would have been up there for it," because he would have. He had a nicely painted Iron Warriors army. There was some fantastic armies there that were painted by closers, people who fully paint their shit. But the thing was, which let a lot of these good painters down, was that narrative thing. Like, I'm rocking up to like a Zone Mortalis match with a squad of Breaches, a squad of Attack Marines, and a squad of Terminators. Other people, like Adrian's, rocking up with like a kitted out Praetor, Battlesmiths, Iron Circle, you know, tactical support squads with plasma guns and shit like that. It's like, yeah, that's where you lose on your comp score, guys. People will notice the hurty things and they will mark you down. I didn't give anyone a 1 though. I did not give anyone a 1. And in fact, I gave the Melkador guy a middle of the road for comp. I gave him a 3 out of 5. Because, well, it was like, his Melkadors were brutal as fuck against me, but that was me. Tactical Marines, like if he played someone else who had actual anti-tank, like just one of those Mechanicum bastards with the Voltarax, and he'd be fucked because he can't shoot at the aircraft with his fucking pie plates, and they just can fire fucking haywire shots at him, 9 haywire shots a turn, and just fuck his squadrons up. So, you know, it was not a cheesy list. I wasn't going to mark him based on against my army. I'm going to mark him in comparison to the whole tournament.
I was unbiased.
I'm pretty unbiased by doing
that.
Five,
so what up, man?
Yeah, but when it came to the bonus points that you could get, like one of per turn, it was like 1 secondary bonus point, and you were like, I'll go 250.
Look, there was some.
You're about 350.
I didn't know what was going on, but it didn't really have that an effect, as far as I'm aware.
No, I'm pretty sure because you gave the scores to Tio. The Tio just looked at you funny and then just scribbled out everything you wrote. And also the fact that at one time you
Well,
just handed him an Uno
Told him to
card.
draw 4.
Yeah, but you didn't call Uno before you gave him the draw
Damn
4.
it.
So you
No,
had to
I
draw
blew
a
up a
card,
planet.
fuckhead.
Blew up a planet and turned one into a fucking vortex
even
storm
Uno?
of doom. So good luck trying to fucking build knights on that, man. What color scheme are you gonna do?
And I turned all the allies in the system against each other. So
That's just
GG.
that's so.
You think the survivors would be united in their hatred for the guy who blew up one of their fucking planets, Cat?
They're good.
But instead they just now hate each other.
And
And
what color scheme?
the
What color scheme? We weren't
Yeah,
even on the same
we're-
team.
we're a
We seemed
good
to
team.
Work well together. What color scheme is a night house gonna have that is in perpetual fucking warp storm? Just-
Well, I can only speak for myself, but technically the house scheme's supposed to be one of those like reddish orange color schemes with like the hazard stripes, yellow and black hazard stripes on it. But the knight, I want a whole fucking knight Atropos, I should add, for my as part of like my prize. With
There was
the
some really
best
cool
Reaver
prizes out
trophy.
there. There was
Which is pretty
there
fucking cool.
was a fuck. He got something. He got something big. A Warlord Titan. Warlord? Nah. Was it Warlord Titan? It was a Warlord Titan for the first.
There
what
was
that
there
for?
was a fucking Titan,
Being-
yeah,
being
Warlord
good as fuck.
Warlord Titan. To be fair though, like everyone
That's a fair
entering
point.
this
That is a
tournament
fair
paid what
Whereas, so
$75
you're talking
each
about,
over 60 people.
95% of
it's-
the players
there's-
walk away with absolutely
Yeah.
nothing except for happiness, which is what you go in there, you go in.
Yeah. Just the top players won. The top players, there was one Titan
Yeah, that's right.
and
Mastodon.
3 knights handed
And
out,
you were
and I
like,
think a
"Where was that?"
Mastodon, and that was it. That was the prizes. But you know they weren't paying rental for the venue. They weren't
Yeah.
because like the venue was a hobby shop, you know.
Yes, the beverages. There was
And
a
we
fair
put so much money over the
kind of
counter for like
like,
food and beverages.
Ask Felix. I think we earned $800.
Yeah, ask
over my
Felix
budget
when he threw all
after
the fucking
spending
beverages
$600,
up
so
in round 1.
I'm just happy I'm not good at maths, bro. Fuck.
Well, GG. Geigenhive. I think I still. Ooh, Ty and I drink way too much at Geigenhive. Way the fuck too much. But I had to drink there to fucking go and sleep in that room at night. I had to fucking be drunk. That fucking place is a hole. The whole point of Geigenhive tournament was they had it at this hotel, which had accommodation on site.
It was very boring.
But the accommodation was like fucking more dank than a
I
third world
should've-
prison.
The hotel was only $160 for 4 nights. There wasn't that much transport involved. Didn't have to take taxis and shit. James had his car up there. Like fuck, I could have done it really well, and I could have bought a lot more. I could have bought the 160 zombies on the shelf for $200. Fuck.
I spent like $300-400 a weekend total, including my fuel to and from. That's like I think just shy of 1,600 kilometers round trip.
Work anyway, so hopefully that pays. Oh, you got a night. Right.
I kind of broke even though at the event itself. Like my travel costs to the event, it was covered by the
True.
twice the money I spent on fuel.
Yeah, I
is
don't
what
know.
the
That
night costs
does
to buy
create a
retail.
competitive
So
thing. If people are paying $75 and people aren't getting, say, $65, $60 value back in whatever swag or whatever. Yeah, they had a bottle. I didn't take my bottle. In fear I would glass somebody. Also,
you got a bottle?
I just didn't understand the deal with the bottle. Like, it could break in my luggage. Like, have you seen those baggage dudes? So what the
you
fuck?
could have just filled it with paper or... Oh, they're animals. They're animals at baggage handling. They pretty much... The plane flies over the airport and they drop the bags out the plane before the plane lands.
So,
Pretty sure that's how they
didn't
do
get
it
the
based
idea.
on the fucking
Papers
conditions
in
some
a
of my
bottle.
bags
It
are
was
right
like
back
a
in.
fucking shot whiskey bottle, man. the fuck are you gonna papers? What fucking paper? What the fuck did you have? What are you gonna use it for?
Mine survived.
I don't get the bottle,
Memes.
man. Like honestly, it doesn't. It's got a cork
Can
lid,
store all
doesn't
my
it? Doesn't it
memes
have
in
a
it.
cork lid? There's like better things you could have done.
Well, yeah, there was.
It's just not even glass.
No, it's not a cork lid. It's a
Fuck,
screw
so you
top.
can at least
They're
glass
cheap
them.
bottles, man.
Oh
Cheap.
jeez, you can't even glass one.
But-
Someone good with it.
Yeah, they're glass
Fuck.
bottles, but they're
No,
very
well,
thin glass.
Instead of buying people a Mastodon and a Titan for the end meme, which it's nice, but
I do think the Warlord Titan was a little bit excessive, especially as like a TO's Choice Award. That's way too fucking excessive. Especially because like they handed out prizes for like, this is the team who contributed the most to the narrative, and just the whole time they've been here, they've been contributing ideas. And when these dudes like marched up to the front, I was like, I did not hear a fucking peep out of any of those cunts the whole weekend. I'm like, they contributed to the narrative, huh? Okay. I didn't have a fucking clue, hey? Because, I mean, like, the people we hung around with all weekend, like, we hung around, like, James, we hung around Tim, the Melbourne guys, and we're all just gobbing off the whole fucking weekend. I mean, you probably broke the record for the amount of people called cunt in one fucking sitting. And
well,
yeah, we did not hear these guys all weekend. Apparently, they just contributed tons and tons to the fucking narrative.
I wasn't saying cunt that much.
And we're... Oh yeah, it was like every second word. It was pretty impressive, but after
I didn't even know what happened there. I was too busy
Tucker
getting some dank memes
nearly
from
fucking
the
blew on.
shop, which is the alcohol shop. But yeah, I didn't even know that was going on, man. I was too happy. I was like happy drunk, and that usually never happens. So I'm really glad. Like I was just in the right atmosphere, man. And yeah, that was during trivia, right? Was that during trivia? Was that shit?
We did have a lot of fun at Dave's expense as well, because they had because they had the trivia, but like
Yeah, the
some of
trivia
the
was
answers
weird.
were
We
just
were like-
outright wrong, which I love at trivia nights when people are outright wrong. Because he had one of the questions was like is Torgon Khan or something loyalist or traitor, and it's like the dude fucking backflips like fucking 6 times over the Scars books, like I said,
Alright, and just for all those waiting to read the fucking White Scars book there, fair warning, spoilers,
like, and the book,
sorry. Fuck, man.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said to him, I'm like, you're going to give people spoilers here? Because, like, the book's only been out, like, 2-3 months, dude. He's like, oh, yeah, spoilers. Everyone's just sort of looking at him like, he can't. He's like, oh, nobody reads those books, and everyone just looks at him.
I like that.
Yeah, we
that
do.
Trivia.
It's pretty funny. And Perturabo, he spelt Perturabo with a U because whatever reason. And I'm not making fun of the guy's spelling, but it was just, for some reason, because we'd had a bit to drink, I'm sitting there with like Felix and James, we just kept going, Perturabo. Perturabo. And kept doing like cat purrs and then miming like Perturabo, like one hand hitting people with like the hammer and the other hand like cat clawing at them, like like hissing at his enemies.
Yeah,
and we made up this whole narrative about
like
a cat
Primarch.
Primarch.
I think that'd be cool.
It's pretty funny for us.
So yeah, I didn't know about any. I don't think there was any. There weren't really any bad people there. For gaming etiquette, everyone bought their stuff. But there were a lot of people there, man. I only
There was
dealt
one
with maybe
one person
5%
who made me
of,
want to physically hurt them.
more than 5%. Fuck it, I don't know, 60.
Yes.
1%. Anyway, so I ended up deal with, and a lot of those were double up games because there was multiple, groups of people fighting, and there were guys that I'd fight individually before. So, and the way they grouped it, it was like on worlds, you'd fight those kinds of people on those worlds and stuff. Anyways, I was just really happy I didn't match up with anyone with a poorly painted army or with a real poor attitude or anything like that. It was really, really cool. They had all their gaming supplies there. They were not typical game standard people. They weren't slobs or whatever. They were well groomed, well dressed for the occasion. They were all wearing underarm deodorant, standard stuff that you would think is a thing in society, and it was cool. So yeah, I don't think I didn't. It could have just been a drink though, man. They could have been. I was just fucking off my head. So I don't know. Just be lying my fucking ass off. So there was a dude for you, was there? That you didn't enjoy your game with so much?
Yep, one dude. Just I didn't even play the guy. He just every time I dealt with him was like, oh, you're a douche. And yeah, I just don't want to be that guy. You know, because like, just very rude and very blunt and very obnoxious. And I don't know if he realised he was doing it, but constantly just glaring at me and glaring at other people. And it was at one point where other people were like, man, this guy's a bit of a wanker. And I was like, oh, good, it's not just in my fucking whacked out fucking moral compass. Because, yeah, just... I do hear rumour that the next event's going to be an invite only. To sort of cut down on the, wankiness. But as I said, like, that was one person. Overall, the event was great, so... I can't, can't complain. I enjoyed myself. I just think that Mechanicum are bullshit, and Tim and Spence have a very different version of narrative to me at this event. we found a way to combat it. We just refused flank. So what Adrian and I did when we played them was we just put all that shit in one fucking corner.
Fuck army.
It's like, okay, you've spread your shit out from one end to the other.
And they just set their shit up in a straight fucking line. They don't put the faster moving shit on the sides, which would be the knights, I'm guessing, because they can move 12 and they can fleet and all this other shit. So, but they put their shit just in a sporadic fucking line across the table, and all you did was refuse flank. It just doesn't match up. It's like...
Yes. Yes, so they just sent all their shit. They fired most of their shit at the Macedon each turn, because it's big and scary, I guess. And then they ran towards us, closest unit at a time, so we just gunned down the closest target at a time. And we just rinse and repeat until we got through their army. And we got lucky many times. A few lucky rolls here and there. They got a few lucky rolls here and there, like the Clexius absolutely fucking devastated this absolutely pimped out fucking Iron Warriors Terminator squad, and then ran in my Thousand Suns Terminators with like 3 dudes left alive, and they just pumped the assassin. Like, could have gone either way. The fucking Leviathan Dreadnought on like 1 hull point gets charged by a knight, and the knight just totally queefs, and the Leviathan just dick punches the knight. Could have gone either way. We got lucky, and we just barely scraped by the mission on random game length. If it wasn't random game length, we probably would have lost.
It was a long game. That took a while for you guys to finish that. I think I lost.
Oh, kudos to them, man. They played awesome too. Like, in the end, my army was fucking 9 tactical marines from 2 different squads and 1 level 2 wizard, and that was everything I had. Oh no, 2 rhinos, 2 fucked up rhinos, and that was everything I had left out of a 2,500 point list. And Adrian's army at the end was like that, fucking pretty much hull pointed to death Leviathan, 2 rhinos, and a Spartan, Spartan, and that was it. That was literally everything we had left on the table. And they still had like 2 of those Thalax death squads. Fucking Archmagos, the 3 Voltarax. Oh, actually no, I had 1 more unit in play. I had the Castellax and the Praevian on the very far side of the table where they just could not influence anything.
Jesus Christ, man. Mechanic traitor, fuck.
Yeah, those stock Castellax, man, they'll get you every time. Yeah, no, but it was great. It was a great game. It was just a brutal game because it was just way... Because it's 7th edition 40k, that was the problem. There's 3 different knights with 3 different stat lines that are all super heavy walkers, which had their rules modified by FAQs. Attacking my Macedon, which is super heavy transport, which has had fucking rules fucked around by the FAQ. With Sicarians and Spartans and units which only have experimental rules in the Voltra. It was just way too much shit going on at once. Like, by the end of that APOC game, it was a big game. I was just brain dead. I got to like turn 3 or 4, and I just said to Tim and Spence, you guys just roll your dice. Yeah. I'll trust you. You just figure out what the fuck you're doing. You just tell me the end outcome. Like, yeah, it was fucked. My brain was just disintegrating. And when I get to that point in the tournament, that's when I start doing silly mistakes.
What?
Like, wasn't an event. Yeah. Wasn't an event. My 4 fucking Melkadors beg to differ. Nah, that dude was cool though. That Tim dude who had the Melkadors, he was fine. He was a nice guy to play, and we had a lot of fun. You know, as much as I bag it. And like I said, I didn't give the guy a shit comp score here. I gave him a decent comp score and a decent paint score because his shit was all fully painted. It was painted decently, and he had a bunch of fucking, cool ideas and did things just for fun. You know, I wasn't just gonna shit on the guy. So, yeah. So I guess that brings us to the end of the active Heresy wrap-up.
Well, for me, I love the venue. I think
any last words? Yes.
So that'd be a sustain for me. I think that's going to be hard to top a venue like that. That'd be really hard, actually. So, then for something to improve upon, I guess it'd be the invite only. So there were obviously a couple of, it might have been, I feel like it was a little bit overcrowded. Some of the people stuff wasn't painted, no fault to them. Just the standard was fully painted, and you didn't reach that. It's, no fault to anybody. Just maybe the invite thing will stop something like that. And obviously there might have been a couple of rogue elements there that were complete arseholes. I very well might have been a complete arsehole myself. I probably was too inebriated to know that. But no, I had some damn well fun, and I hope I did learn a lot. Was thanks to the guys for patience with me rolling and stuff. Fuck, I brought 5th edition fucking psychic cards to a goddamn fucking tournament.
You watched the psychic video.
So that'd probably be that'd be more improve the kind of player base there to improve on the painting and stuff. I mean, we can all do that as well. Take fully painted armies. Just even if tournaments don't just bring the standard, rise above it, and always improve yourself. And there wasn't really anything that they could fix. Probably the paperwork. He was doing a lot of freaking paperwork. TOs then. There was a lot of fucking paperwork. Definitely. That
he needs helpers. He needs minions to help out with.
Definitely.
Especially with us constantly coming up and asking 20 questions, his brain would have been more frazzled than me in that APOC game.
And shit like that, to come up with stuff where maybe allocate one to me, so when I'm doing stupid shit, just to either pull my head in to not make fucking vortexes everywhere or blow up planets. Just more stuff if that need to fix your admin. He seemed really under the pump. He was the only guy that seemed to be under the pump.
Yes, he had to not only take in 60 people, give them tables, collect their scores, figure out the scenarios, doing it on 3 different planets, and space battles and void warfare and all this other stuff combined. One person doing all that, it's a big load for the poor guy to handle.
Like classrooms and stuff like that. What variation would you need for teachers per class? I mean, like 20 is a big class for somebody just to take in everyone's name and be like, this is where everyone's at kind of thing. So 60 people for one person to administer is I don't know how many people who are listening who have staff under them, but that's a lot of fucking people just to be hands-on and to micromanage everything. And if everyone has I don't have an opponent, or our game's going longer and shit like that, so definitely he needs help with that, I think. Hell yeah,
yes. And that's not a slide on him as a person.
I tried not to harass him when shit was going down, but obviously. Yes.
I did a little, but I could see like the veins in his forehead, and I was like, oh, I can't do this to the poor guy, and because I was like, but what's the narrative behind this? What's the narrative behind this? Can you explain to me? He's like, it just is, and I'm like, oh, this guy looks like he's gonna explode.
Mr. Harris, my soda is too cold. My
See the
teeth
vein
hurt.
coming out of his forehead.
Oh, your teeth hurt? Your teeth hurt? Well, that's too freaking bad. I can tell you where you can shove your freaking narrative too.
Uncle Mose, here I am. Yes. But yeah, so that was it. Thanks very much for listening to our little podcast shitposting random episode on Act of Heresy. I'm sure we'll talk more about it because we'll probably get different people on and talk about their experiences of the event. Maybe Tim, where he can actually explain to people on what planet he thinks mechanically
I made
balanced.
that planet. It's the one where all the vortexes are killing everything. So there you go. That's the only way to fucking balance.
I'm sure he'll be able to hook you up.
So, yeah.
Oh, there you go. Fuck Mechanicum. Fuck them. Seriously, fuck Mechanicum. The Tower of 30k.